We move on to the next question in the DILED section. This talks about a supermarket where we have 12 items which are coded from A to L, and they have to be placed in 16 shelves which are numbered 1 to 16. We are told that 5 of these items are biscuits. So we have 5 biscuits. 3 are candies. So we have 3 candies. And the rest are savories. So we have 4 savories. So total of 12 items. It is told that only one item can be kept in a shelf, which means that 12 items can come in 12 shelves. And we have 16 shelves, so we will have 4 empty shelves. Items are to be placed such that all items of the same type are clustered together with no empty shelf between the items of the same type. So which means that all the 5 biscuits will come one after the other, all the candies will come one after the other, and all the savories will come one after the other. And at least one empty shelf between 2 different types of items, at least one, and at most 2 empty shelves can have consecutive numbers. So between any 2 type of items, biscuit, savory and candies, we can have 1 or 2 empty shelves, minimum 1, maximum 2. And then there is some additional information given which says A and B are to be placed in consecutively numbered shelves in increasing order. So we will have to place A first and then B. Now let's draw the shelves. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and one more here, 16. So it is told that A and B will be in consecutive numbered shelves in increasing order. I and J are to be placed consecutively numbered shelves, both higher numbered than the shelves in which A and B are kept. Now notice that it is told that I and J would be in consecutive numbered shelves and both higher numbered than A and B, but it is not told that A and J would be in increasing or decreasing order. So I and J will be together in some order. We'll see what that order is, and they will be both above A and B. Next it says D, E and F are savories. So out of the 4 savories, we get D, E and F as 3 of them are to be placed in consecutively numbered shelves in increasing order. So it will be placed in the same order D, E, F. After all the biscuits and candies are kept, so the savories will be on top, and then we will have either biscuit or candies, or we can have candies or biscuit. So this could be one arrangement, this could be another arrangement. Next it says K is to be placed in shelf number 16. So if I number the shelves from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16, K would come on the top shelf. And since savories are on top, so definitely K is a savory. So D, E, F and K, and the next 3 would be D, E and F in increasing order. So we got the Savories as K, F, E and D. Next, it is said that L and J are items of the same type while H is a different type of item. So we had seen that I and J are placed together one after the other, and L is the same type of item as J. So L, I and J are all same type of items, and H will be a different type of item. So let us put H as a different type of item. Now it is told that C is a candy and has to be placed in a shelf preceded by 2 empty shelves. So now C is a candy. So we have C as a candy, and it should be placed after 2 empty shelves. And it is also told that L is to be placed in a shelf preceded by exactly 1 empty shelf. So therefore, L has to be a biscuit because the candies will start with C and the biscuits will start from L. So L has to be a biscuit, and because L is a biscuit, so I and J will also be biscuits. Now we are left with A, B and G and H. Now it is told that H is of a different type of item than I and J. So therefore H cannot be a biscuit because I and J are biscuits. So H has to be a candy. And now we are left with A, B, which are together, so they are one type, and G, we don't know what that is. Now if we take A and B to be biscuits, then we will have 5 biscuits. But if we take AB to be candies, we will get 4 candies, which cannot happen because we have a total of 3 candies. So A and B has to be biscuits, and G has to be automatically candy. So we have got the biscuits and the candies now, and let's put them in the order according to what has been said. So so we can see that there are 2 options. Candies and biscuits can be arranged with candies first or biscuits first. So let's take the first case. We'll have the biscuits first, and the biscuits are L, I, J, A and B. So L has to be placed in a shelf preceded by 1 empty shelf. So let's start with this. So first shelf is empty, then we have L, and then we have A and B in that order, and then we can have IJ or JI because the order of I and J is not known. It is just told that they will come in consecutive shelves, and then C will start after 2 empty shelves. So we will have the next 2 shelves empty, and then we will have C, and then we will have G and H, but we don't know the order, so we can have GH here and H and G here, H or G here, and then shelf number 12 will be empty. So this is one possible arrangement. The second possible arrangement is if we take the candies first. So therefore the candies would be C, H and G. So C will come after 2 empty shelves. So C will come in shelf number 3, and then we don't know the order of G and H. So the next 2 shelves will be G or H, and then we will have 1 empty shelf, and then we will have the biscuits starting with L, and then A and B, and then I or J, and then J or I, and then the 12th shelf remains empty. So these are the 2 possible arrangements. with D, E, F and K being the topmost items. So now let's go to the questions. The first question says, in how many different ways can the items be arranged on the shelves? So we see that there are two possible combinations, and in each combination I and J can be interchanged. So there are two possibilities here, and also G and H can be interchanged. So therefore 2 into 2, 4 possibilities in the first case. Similarly, in the second case, we can interchange I and J, and correspondingly we can interchange G and H. So 2 into 2 equal to 4 again. So the total number of ways in which these can be arranged is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. So let's see the options. So option number 4, which says 8, is the correct answer. Next question, which of the following items is not a biscuit? We have identified the biscuits, so it is very easy to answer this. So the biscuits are L, I, J, A and B. So we have L, A and B, which are correct. G is not a biscuit, it is a candy. So G is the incorrect answer. It is not a biscuit. So it is correct in terms of the question. It is not a biscuit. So let's move to the next question, which says, which of the following can represent the number of empty shelves in a possible arrangement? So there are two arrangements, and we have to check the numbers of the empty shelves. So let's check that out. So in the first case, we have 1, 2, I'm sorry, 2 is not there in the first case. So it is 1, and then 7, 8 and 12. So 1, 7, 8 and 12 is in case 1, and in case 2, 1, 2, 6 and 12. So 1, 2, 6 and 12 is the other combination that is possible. So let's see in the answers what is given. So we see option number 3 as 1, 2, 6 and 12, which is possible in one case. So this is the correct answer. 1, 7, 8 and 12 is not given as any of the choices, so we don't have to deal with that. Moving to question number 50, which says, which of the following statements is necessarily true, which means it has to be true in both cases. Let's see the options. First one says, there are at least 4 shelves between B and C. Let's check that out. So in the first case, B is in shelf 4 and C is in shelf 9. So we have 5, 6, 7 and 8, 4 shelves between B and C. And in the second case, C is in shelf 3 and B is in shelf 9. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, 5 shelves in between B and C. So it can be either 4 or 5 shelves between B and C. So it is saying there are at least 4 shelves between items B and C, which is correct because there can be 4 or 5 shelves. So it is at least 4 or more than 4. So this is the correct option. The next one says there are 2 empty shelves between the biscuits and the candies. So it is not true in both cases. In case 1, yes, we can see there are 2 empty shelves between the biscuits and the candies. But in case 2, there is only 1 empty shelf between the biscuits and the candies. So it is not always true that there will be 2 empty shelves between biscuits and candies. So it is not necessarily true. It is true only in one case. So this is not correct. The next one says all candies are kept before biscuits. This is not true, because as we have seen, we can have biscuits followed by candies, followed by savories, or candies followed by biscuits followed by savories. So we have two cases. So this is it is not true that all candies are kept before biscuits always. Similarly, all biscuits are kept before candies is not true, because of the same reason that it can be either of them. So therefore, only option 1 is the correct choice in this case.